And welcome back to the program, everyone. 19 minutes past the hour. Great to have you with us here on the Eat, Drink, Explore Radio Network. This is our Market Fresh Hour, and I am your host, Randall White, and talking about all things fresh when it comes to the foods and the beverages that we have here in California. We're incredibly spoiled, but we like to also explain how to prepare those things so you can enjoy them and be healthy while you're at it. So we bring to the program Courtney Coleman of CookWell.org. Courtney was incredibly popular the last couple of times we had her on the show, and so we thought, you know what? Let's bring her on a regular basis so she could share her tips. You know, people pay to have her explain how to cook and those sorts of things in personal classes and group classes and those sorts of things. But you get it right here for free right now. And you can always follow up with the information that Courtney gives you at cookwell.org. First off, Courtney, let's talk a little bit about the glycemic aspect of a diet. And this is the sugar composition, right?
It's how fast foods turn to sugars in the bloodstream, right? So fruit, especially anything with high fructose corn syrup or white sugar, those are all simple sugars that hit the bloodstream really pretty fast and spike the blood sugar pretty high pretty fast. And what we want in our diet are more complex carbohydrates that preferably have fiber and minerals, like from whole grains, starchy root veggies with the skins. Fat and protein tend to slow sugar's absorption into the bloodstream. So you could have kind of a large serving of yams, but if you had the butter or coconut oil with it and maybe, you know, whatever protein source on your plate too, it wouldn't be so spiky so fast. And that's is preventative for a lot of diseases, is not spiking the blood sugar so high as the standard American diet usually does with the white rice or white potatoes or the white sugar stuff, you know, and the Wonder Bread.
Yeah. Wheat
is real high glycemic.
By the way, Courtney, when we had you on the show previously, you talked about soaking your grains ahead of time. And just in my refrigerator right now is a dish of brown rice that I made with leeks.
Nice.
And I took it a couple of steps farther, or farther in that one. I'm not sure. Further, I think. I took it a couple of steps further, and what I did is I soaked them overnight, almost 24 hours. Then I drained off that water. Then I sort of rinsed them with filtered water, and I bought something called a sprouting jar. And so it's got a mesh top on one end. It's like a big, huge container, and then you tip it sort of in a bowl so that the water can drain out so that the grains aren't just sitting in water. They stay moist.
Right.
You sort of rinse them or re-moisten them 2 or 3 times a day for a couple of days.
Right.
And you could see the little sprouts coming out.
Yeah, the little tails.
Yeah, little tiny tails. And that's when I knew it was ready to go, because I'm not trying to grow full-blown sprouts. I just want the grain to be at the full germination process.
Yeah, they say the longer you let it sprout, the more nutritious it becomes, the more amino acids it gains, and easier to digest. And there's a neutralization of something called phytic acid, which would otherwise bind with minerals in the intestine and inhibit mineral absorption. So even if you just soak it for 24 hours under a couple inches of water, right in the saucepan you're going to cook it in, and then replace it with soak water and simmer it, you're really enhancing that magnesium uptake. Brown rice is real high in magnesium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just taking it that extra step, and it's if you just get in the habit of having something soaking at all times, you really can just increase the nutrient value of your meals by quite a bit. I have some lentils going right now. I'll let you know how that goes.
Yeah, I like to, as soon as I scrape out of the bottom of the pan that I have left over in the fridge of my brown rice or buckwheat or black beans or whatever, I'm soaking another pot to cook the next day.
On to the next one.
Yeah. And if I don't have time to cook the next day, I can soak it up to 3 days, as long as I replace that soak water with fresh water every 24 hours. And I usually try to cook my big pot of beans and my pot of grain and maybe even a stir fry to reheat before I get busy.
Yeah.
So for most people, that's like Sunday.
Right.
You know?
Because once you get busy, then you're like, ugh, forget it. You know? Give me the minute rice.
Ugh.
Right? Which is just minute rice. You might as well just have a ding dong. mean, seriously. All right, let's talk about why getting lower glycemic gently is important.
Oh, because the headaches and tiredness you will get when you stop spiking the blood sugar.
And then you think, well,
Yeah.
this isn't good for me because now I'm just tired, and but it's your body's got to readjust.
Right, and it takes a good 2-3 weeks to get over those really intense sugar cravings, tiredness, and headache. But you can step down gently and slowly and eliminate all those symptoms. You can just have like 2 cookies instead of 3 for a week.
Yeah.
And then the next week have 1 cookie instead of 2. So you're gently baby stepping down. And then you're carrying figs or dates or raisins in your wallet or purse or whatever with, have them with you so you can pop a few just to take the edge off of that headache and tiredness when it comes around again.
Right.
And gently stepping down like that makes it so much more doable because those withdrawal symptoms are really debilitating. People can't hang.
No.
Yeah.
And I do have a little bit of a sweet tooth. What I end up doing is going to, where you just taught a class recently at New Frontiers, or, Whole Foods has these also where they have in the bakery items that are cooked with whole spelt flour or whatever it might be, tofu in place of some of the more fatty elements, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And I gotta tell you, they taste just as good. It almost makes me wonder why even go the other route.
Yeah, well, New Frontiers is a really great stepping stone down. And, Trader Joe's has some stuff, too, that's not so sugary. But, ultimately working down to a piece of fruit being this wonderfully sweet delight is how indigenous people stay so healthy so late into life.
Let's talk about fat versus sugar metabolism a little bit more.
Okay.
And how clearly fat takes longer for your body to break down, right?
Yeah, and it yields 9 calories of energy per
gram,
whatever it is.
I think it's per gram.
Per gram.
And then sugar is 4.
Sugar and carbs are 4. So it's much more energy dense. What happens in our culture is that we're raised on sugary cereals, and then we get, pasta or white bread stuff for lunch, and we come home, we have potatoes, a ton of potatoes or whatever for dinner. And all these high glycemic foods in our diet regularly since we're children clocks our metabolism to running on sugar instead of running on fat, as the human body is designed to do. We are designed to run on fat.
And we went through such a long period in the United States of low fat, no fat.
Oh, I know.
And what we didn't realize is that it's the type of fat.
Right. And you have to get those good fats for skin and hair and brain and nerves and hormone balance and heart health. If you don't get any of the bad cholesterol, your liver will begin to overproduce it. I mean, the list goes on.
I just cringe when I think for how many years I tried to live a low to no fat existence. I just think, oh, well, we just didn't know,
Yeah.
I won't even get into my love for Velveeta, but I can't help it. I know that it's wrong, and yet I'll gravitate toward it. Not recently, not this year. I went, vegetarian, vegan, but.
But incorporate that good coconut oil, all the avocado, the omega-3s, your krill oil or fish oil, really, really important. And when you are finally lower glycemic in your diet, your body will switch back to burning fats for fuel. And you will drop that extra 5 or 10 pounds, not even trying, because your metabolism has gotten so efficient. And you will be craving the good quality fats, the good quality butter, that Organic Valley brand pasture butter that's seasonal from pasture-fed cows.
Right.
Is amazing. There's nothing like it. When you taste that, you can't go back. And when that's true. When that's not in season, I get their cultured butter, which is available year round. But
Courtney Coleman with CookWell.org. We didn't get to the lavender pop cake or the cookies, but you can find those on our website, and we'll have to set up a zone on our website where you can get those recipes as well. Courtney, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Randall.
Stick around, everyone. We are talking wine waste coming up next.
Gary and Marcy Eberly of